And as far as Division II goes specifically, you had shot over some numbers about how many guys will, on average end up on those rosters. But this year in particular, you had called it a 4-person race to be the first D2 guy off the board. So talk to me about, and we've talked about all 4 of these guys in the show, but talk to me about what those guys bring to the table. And one of them is under your representation, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, glad to do it. There's about, on average, in any given year, there's about 50 guys on Division II players on 53-person rosters in the NFL. Yeah. It's about 3% of the league. It goes up, it goes down. But I think the 4-person race this year is Jake Witt, offensive tackle, NMU, my personal favorite because he's my client, my first client.
Ours too. Ours too.
Caleb Murphy, edge rusher from Ferris State. I just saw Caleb at the Ferris State spring game. He was the first non-FBS player to win the Ted Hendricks Award, all-time single-season sack leader, all levels of college football. I think he's in the mix to be the first D2 player drafted.
Yep.
Then I listed also Joey Fisher, offensive tackle, probably will play guard at the next level. He's from Shepherd. He's about 6'4", 300, very athletic, very strong. Not quite as athletic as Jake, but pretty darn athletic and a good player. And Marte Mapu is a linebacker from Sacramento State. Another name I'd throw in there, the possibility to get drafted, maybe not the first one, would be David Durden, wide receiver, West Florida. I watched him against Ferris State in the playoffs, and he was torching the best defense in the country.
He's a stud.
And then he got hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it would have won had he not got hurt, but I think the game would have been closer because the guy's a player.
I totally agree with that. And we just had Pee Wee Jarrett on the podcast, the quarterback from West Florida, just a little while back too. And I know that's something that those Ferris State and West Florida matchups, not something you get every year, but the last couple meetings they've had have been awesome. And I think, whenever we get that matchup is pretty sweet. So that game in particular was, like you said, could have been very much the other way around, given a few plays here or there.
Yep. Yeah. David Durden's a heck of a player. And then there's some other guys, and I think probably some other names you mentioned. And again, I'm not talking about my clients right now, but probably names you've mentioned on the show. Maybe they're borderline get drafted guys, probably priority free agent guys. That's Quentin Barrow, offensive tackle, Grand Valley. Brent Lang, guard from Minnesota Duluth, probably a priority free agent. But went to the Shrine Bowl, went to the Combine. And then Cy Barnett from Davenport just ran some kind of like a 4.38 40 or something at his pro days. Insane numbers.
Yeah. Tyson Bagent got to be on that list as well, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Tyson Bagent played in the Senior Bowl, and I think he might get drafted probably 6th or 7th round, maybe 5th. Mm-hmm. Then Trevor Nowaski, I think, who you had on the show from Saginaw Valley.
Trevor's the man.
He ran a 4.5. I mean, he got himself on the radar. Is he a priority free agent? Probably, but he's going to get a shot. Yeah. That's for sure. And 30% of the league, 25 to 30% of the league is undrafted free agents. Think about that. That's 25 to 30% of the guys on the 53-man rosters. They weren't drafted. So
you don't almost have to 1 in 3. Like that's insane. Like those numbers are crazy. And you're right. And that's why there is that market, right? Because those guys have shown that, while you're not going to hit on every single one of them, there certainly is a market there because of the staying power of those type of guys. And they just find their way to year after year, stick around on those rosters and make plays, more important.